Good evening, Prescott Valley. Welcome to the February 13th, 2018 Parks and Recreation Commission meeting. Kathy, could we get a roll call?
Present. Huh?
Here.
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 Here. There. Thank you. So we'll move on to item 3, approval of the agenda. If everybody's had a chance to review the agenda, offer any suggestions. I do have one request that we strike item 9B, as that is not ready for new business. So please strike item 9B. And with that, is there any other changes to the agenda? Seeing none, I'll take a motion to approve the agenda.
I make a motion that we approve the agenda for February 13th, 2018 as corrected.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Okay, we'll move on to item 4, approval of the January 9th, 2018 regular meeting minutes. Everybody's had a chance to review those and offer any changes. Please do so now.
I'll make a motion to approve the January 9th, 2018 regular meeting minutes.
And a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And that passes. Okay, moving on to the best time of the evening, announcements.
Yes, sir. And Commissioners, let's bring up your calendars and take a peek at, if you would, and save the date for Saturday, March 24th for our upcoming Extravaganza and Family Arts Festival. This will be held at our Civic Circle grounds. Our egg hunt will start at 12 noon. I encourage everyone to bring the whole family out, enjoy our bouncy houses and more. Wristbands will be sold on site for $10. Included in that and all the other free activities include a petting zoo, booths, art activities, live performances for our talented young people from our surrounding schools, and then the big massive egg hunt itself. So check it out. Come by. Also check out our Youth Arts Month display, because that will be on all 4 floors of the Civic Center. Displaying all of the talent of our local artists during Youth Arts Month, which is the month of March. So again, Extravaganza and Family Arts Festival, Saturday, March 24th, 9 a.m. to noon, here at the Civic Circle in Prescott Valley, with the egg hunt starting at 12 noon sharp. Any questions? All right.
Very exciting time.
All right. Well, without a doubt, because the bunny's there, Little Bo Peep, all the hip, happening, exciting people. Hopping people.
It's a hoppy event.
Oh my goodness, he wasn't going to go there.
Can't wait for it to spring into action.
Oh, see, there's my man. I can
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah, there we go. Wow. All right, the door's open now. Here we go. All right. Give you a few little updates on our upcoming athletics. Men's 3-on-3 spring basketball registration is open. Games will start on Thursday, March 22nd. We have a cost of $150 for registration. This includes 7 games and a single elimination tournament. These games will be played at Glassford Hill Middle School, and our start time is 6:45. We have 3 separate times throughout each evening. We'll be working on men's A and B divisions with 6 teams maximum per division. Registration, as I stated earlier, is open and will remain so until March 8th or until the maximum capacity is reached. Registration can be done online at the town website, pvaz.net, or you can visit us at the offices on the 3rd floor of the Civic Center at 7501 East Civic Circle. Questions on basketball? Yes, and that is quite interesting group there with the flashy pink shorts and green socks and whatnot. So.
Were they from the Maricopa County?
Yes, I think they're
back in the day.
Yes, they're the sheriff's team. Sponsored that. No, just a fun bunch of crazy high school graduates, recent high school graduates in the program there. So tons of fun. All right. Next, Prescott Valley Parks and Rec is sponsoring its spring volleyball, co-ed, and women's. Our winter program is underway. But for a spring session, registration will remain open until March 6th or until, again, maximum capacity is reached. Cost for the program is $150 per team. We have co-ed A, B, women's A and B divisions for participation. These games are played on Tuesday and Wednesday evenings, again over at Glassford Hill Middle School. And these games will begin on the week of March 20th, with game time starting at 6:30. Again, registration can happen online at the town's website, or you can stop by and visit us at our offices on the third floor of Civic Center. Questions for volleyball? All right. Have you caught any in the face yet this season?
No, I've learned to just stay back and let everybody else chase the ball.
New strategies this year. Okay, excellent.
Need to keep pretty.
Next is our spring softball leagues, both men and co-ed. Co-ed divisions will be 1, 2, and 3, as well as men's 1, 2, and 3 divisions. These will be dependent upon signups, and leagues may be combined. This has occurred in the past, but not recently. Our 2008 season will take place March 4th through May 6th. We'll be playing on Sundays from noon until 7 p.m. There will be no games on Easter weekend, which is April 1st. Our registration opened January 15th and will remain so through February 18th, which is this upcoming weekend. And we have a maximum of 8 teams per division. A $270 per team registration fee is required, and this provides you with 7 regular season games and 1 tournament for the top 4 teams in each division. The mandatory managers meeting will be held March 1st at 7 p.m. in room 331. Registration is required prior to that date. You can do so on the web at pvaz.net or stopping by at the office again, 3rd floor of the Civic Center. Questions on softball? Very good. Be a Better basketball player is back on the courts again with Coach Roy Jenkins. This is a fundamental development skills workshop that's held there at, I believe, it is the Canyon View Prep Academy Gymnasium. Times for this are 1 to 3 p.m. on Saturday, February 24th, which is a shooter skill instruction program. This is available for both boys and girls between the ages of 8 and 14. Cost is $20 for this one-day session. Again, give us a buzz at the office for more information, register, or do so online at pvaz.net. Also, we have a beginning crochet and knitting program, classes and workshops. Our classes are 2 sessions for $30, where we learn the basic knit and stitch, and then the second session is learning to read patterns and making small items, utilizing both of those newly learned skills. These are held on Mondays at 10:30 a.m. until noon in room 330 of the 3rd floor of the Civic Center, with workshops being $15 each, and then Saturdays from 10:30 until noon in the Crystal Room of the 3rd floor of our public library. Give us a call at the office, ask for Hope, or register online. Piano lessons are also available through Parks and Recreation, and we encourage everyone to join our experienced instructor and professional musician, Miss Miranda. She is awesome. She provides half or full hour lessons, and these are held Monday through Fridays from 2 until 6 p.m., ages 5 and up. All experience levels are welcome. Students schedule their own lessons after registration directly with the instructor, and that information is given thereafter. If you have more questions, give us a buzz at pvaz.net. Give us a call at 759-3090, or visit at the Civic Center on the 3rd floor in the Parks and Recreation Department.
So 5 and up. That means
5 and up.
any one of us could take these lessons if we so desire.
Yes. And some of us would have to use our toes.
Yep.
Okay.
Do they have a piano?
Yes, ma'am. Piano is provided.
Wow.
Yes. So we're ready. All you need to do is bring you and your enthusiasm and exuberance.
No rhythm required?
I'm sorry?
No rhythm required?
No.
You will gain that. Yes.
Be the next Stevie Wonder.
That would be me, yes. It would take a lot to get me moving in that way. So I would hope, or at least those listening would feel as if I'm definitely in the making and the challenges that I imagine Stevie had at the beginning. So, yeah, without a doubt. All right, Traditional Ways Cooking Workshop. This is a feta and mozzarella cheese workshop. So you learn how to make your own cheeses at the comfort of your home. And actually, this lady has been fabulous. Miss Dana Mast has done a variety of different classes with us. It continues through. If you remember, I believe last month you probably saw some highlights in regards to making your own butter and the butter churning and what else have we done? Meat sauces and all canning programs. She is fabulous. So come and join her. It's a 2-hour workshop. Learn these techniques. This will be held actually tomorrow night, Wednesday, February 17th from 5 to 7 p.m. It's upstairs in the Crystal Room. We are looking for pre-registration with this. It's $25 for adults, young people between the ages of 12 and 17. With a paid adult, register for $15. So it is a ton of fun, and there's even more. So check it out on the website on what's following this class for our other programs and services, hosted by Miss Dana Mast.
Nice.
Speaking of which, Traditional Way Workshop again with Miss Dana is seed starting and garden planting. So as spring approaches, we're wanting everyone to get into the itch to plant their garden and have tons of fun with herbs, tomatoes, zucchinis, all the goodies necessary to support if you were into your sauces class, all the other goodies, canning in the future, everything that you've learned up until this date. Our program is scheduled for Saturday, February 24th, 10 a.m. until noon. This is held in room 331 of the Prescott Valley Civic Center. Again, ages 12 and up. $25 for adults. Attending young people with an adult is $15. So we look forward to seeing everyone available for there. So Miss Dana is going to keep you healthy and well enriched. Our Kickstart Boot Camp for Women is available. Miss Katie Nelson teaches our class. These are held Monday through Friday from 5:30 a.m. until 6:15. So she would love to see you over at the Prescott Valley Boys and Girls Club for your 45 minutes of exercise before you head out to work if you have to do so. The new classes started yesterday and are running through March 9th, so it's not too late to get signed up and get started in the fitness craze for our 2018 year. If you'd like to go 3 days a week, 4 days a week, or 5 days a week, we have opportunities for you and associated costs. Of course, everyone is asked to dress comfortably, bring some water, a towel, and a mat, and some hand weights. So our next session begins April 23rd and will run through May 18th. So if you have classes, give us a phone call, ask for Mr. Robert, and he'll be able to help you out. Also, Adult Zumba is back on Thursday nights from 6:45 to 7:45 with Miss Natasha. So we encourage everyone to come out and join the fitness trend of Zumba. It's a Latin-based dance fitness routine. They're easy to follow. Even I, based upon the fact that I'll probably stumble through piano classes, this might be my next opportunity here. Ages 12 and up are eligible on Thursdays, again, 6:45 to 7:45 at night at the Prescott Valley Civic Center in the third floor activity room. The cost is $3 per class. This is a drop-in class or pre-registration, and pre-registration is not required, but we can do so again via the web or in our offices. And last but not least, if you have some folks out there that are looking for that summertime employment opportunity, please consider joining our Mountain Valley Splash lifeguarding team. We are scheduling interviews. We're taking applications. Our pay this summer will be starting at $11 per hour. We're looking for lifeguards as well as office staff. Applications can be completed online at pvaz.net, and open interviews will be conducted April 6th as well as April 7th. For more information, give us a buzz at 759-3001. Okay, we're ready to go. All right. Any questions on that?
I think you can see how serious our pool staff is.
Yeah.
By
Yes.
that picture, just how serious we are about.
Correct. And she's the nice one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can tell. She's
Yeah.
got the. She's happy.
She hasn't had to run any interference issues when you're at the pool, so that was a good day.
New year for her.
All right. Any questions in regards to the slides or additional information coming forward? As you can see, we're quite busy and we're gearing up for our next season as well.
Glad there's a wide variety of opportunities out there for the residents. That's awesome.
You're welcome.
No further questions. We'll move on to the department update and the director's report.
Okay. Well, as you can see from everyone's report, we have been hopping around in preparation for the upcoming events and activities that are going to be made available to the public, as well as all of our general business operations in doing such. As you're well aware, our donation agreement that we've worked out with the Pickleball Association has been consummated and approved by council, so we're very excited about that. And we continue to meet and going through those processes and moving that forward. Quite a few departmental marketing programs are out there. Hopefully you're seeing those in your water bill coming at least from our department as well as many departments throughout the community. Your next upcoming issue will have quite a bit of information related to our Arbor Day coming up in April, as well as then also some considerations for folks to make concerning helping forest our community as well. So we're very excited about that. And that'll be a new trending opportunity for us in regards to helping communicate out to our public about the importance of trees right here in our own community here in Prescott Valley in doing those things. One of the other items, we continue to go through negotiations. I think we're just right around the corner in regards to a new music festival coming to town. So once those items get inked and we're moving forward, we'll have a lot more data to bring forward to you. And that information will be shared, I'm highly anticipating, during our next monthly meeting coming forward in March. So with that, I am happy to answer any questions you might have about my report or the department's report as a whole. Okay. With that, the only other items that I would throw out there for comment is to take a quick peek in regards to our monthly statisticals. Those are your last 3 pages. I'm very excited in the simple fact that when we look at our fiscal calendar and we look at the far right-hand column, that kind of gives us some indication in regards to where we're at. Ultimately, our goal is to be at 50%, and I know it reflects as a negative or for us, but that means that we're right on track if we're at a 50% mark or a 75% mark, depending upon where we're at in our fiscal calendar. So our fiscal calendar reflects a July start rolling through June. So basically, we've kind of just rolled past the first quarter. So we should be seeing at least 25% achievement in all of our areas. And in some, we're exceeding that quite substantially. So we're going to continue to follow those things. Hopefully, we're trending very well. Some of them you'll see with great concern where we're at 4% of our total achievement. Have no fears because a lot of those things are soon coming, and we'll work our way into that. But kudos to staff. We're trending well, going in the right direction, and very excited in regards to where our future is going to take us. So with that, I'll happy to answer any questions. Otherwise, that would conclude our report for your review.
Looks like your budgetary objectives are outstanding.
We're definitely moving forward. So I think our total attendance as well as our revenue numbers are trending in the right direction. So, yes.
Brian, I have a question about the facility rentals. It says January 17 for January of 18, 12 for 200%
That's just the growth beyond.
change.
You're right.
I mean, so does that have that's based on what we've
Comparison from a year ago.
So that,
So
I mean,
we-
that looks very positive.
Exactly.
Just wondering if the weather probably had anything to do with that.
It could be a little bit of everything. So to go into the specifics, I wouldn't be able to truthfully answer your question. Could it be a new user group that we've never had before? Could it be weather driven? All of those kinds of things. I don't have those specific details in front of me, other than to reflect on I like where we're seeing, and in the big picture of things, we're actually moving ahead. So that's even more exciting. So, okay.
So it looks great. Hopefully we'll continue that.
I hope so too. If not, we're going to blame Kathy and Brady. All right.
Very good.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions for Brian regarding his report? Seeing none, we'll move on to the chairperson's report. Just wrapping up the Arizona Community Foundation Trust Grant financial numbers for reporting back to the group. I've been working with Director Whitty on gathering those in a format that's acceptable to the community group, as well as the town of Prescott Valley was represented at the bid, or what do we call it, the class on how to bid for the grants for the upcoming years. They gave an educational program that the department was represented at. So we'll be looking at applying for another grant this summer to help benefit our parks in some way. So any suggestions, ideas of where grant monies could be used, please feel free to speak up now or get with myself or Brian at a near time in the future.
Yes, and the only thing critical with that is it is a matching program. So that match can come through volunteer labor, actual dollars, donations, contributions, in-kind services. So we can kind of gather quite a bit of different things. So it does not have to be cold, hard cash. They really, well, if I accurately reflect on this, because I know Chairperson Freyer was the author behind this year's successful grant. And if I'm correct, they really looked at our partnerships and then also how the matches came together. And I think a large part of that was through volunteer labor processes, so in achieving that. So,
And just to refresh everybody's memory, the grant that was awarded last year was for the footbridge that was built at Fain Park with the volunteer labor of the Over the Hill gang and using their expertise and getting that done. And it is, if you haven't been down there to get across the creek, it sure makes it a whole lot easier than trying to balance on rocks. So it's a good thing. So that's the kind of things that make an impact in the community and make our parks better for the entire community. So feel free to offer any ideas. Any questions for me on that? Seeing none. Move on to the Tree Advisory Board business. I don't have any new business to report on that. We are still awaiting word on our grant application for this year. So when that becomes available to us, we will share that with the commission. Any questions on Tree Advisory Board business? Okay. Moving on to old business, Fain Lake Restoration.
yes, sir. I wanted to bring to the Commission's attention, as well as to our viewing public, over the course of the last week and a half, 2 weeks, if you were down at Fain Park or utilizing our traditional service road areas, this was the same area where we did a lot of grant work through the Heritage Fund grant that we received. We had that tremendous event that occurred last summer, fall, that literally wiped out all of the work that we'd been doing for several months down there. We were able to get the appropriate equipment, staff assignments, everything else, and we're mitigating all of that destructive effort that took place down there at the lake. So what we're going to be doing now is getting all of our sedimentation barriers reestablished, sedimentation removed from the lake, also the deposits that were left in the Rose Creek branch, all of those types of things, getting that all cleaned up, restoring depths to the body of the lake, those kinds of things, where we can use the equipment at to gain the shoreline access to make that happen. Probably to date, we've already had 100 truckloads removed in those areas. In addition to that, some of the final steps, what we're going to do, just simply from a historical standpoint, but especially after this event, when we did all of the upstream work to minimize and what we thought would be highly reducing the propensity to lose our service road, all those large diametered pipes to allow the flow, all of those types of things, the loss of the road, which then conflicted with the ability to provide the necessary services out there. All of that work that our grant helped us do and our matching funds that we contributed to that was all lost through that event. We felt and reflected with our grant agency the next best step to this, and what we're going to be now the next step in our process, is quit fighting it. Don't go through the battles. And what we're going to be working on is constructing a low water crossing. What that's going to mean for the using public as well as for staff, there are just going to be times and moments where we have flow that's just going to require us not to be, or will not allow us to utilize that crossing area. It's just going to be part of the natural process. But 95% of the time throughout the year, it's going to be easy for us. And when those large events come, we're not fishing out materials and everything else, which is what we're doing again, to make the lake what it needs to be. A very nice environment, not only for our fishery, but from a view shed standpoint, or visiting migratory waterfowl, all of that good stuff. So those are the efforts that are underway. So if you're seeing equipment, you're seeing trucks, you're seeing a cement truck coming in, those kinds of things, that's all of our restorative work that we're underway right now. I apologize that it's taken this long since that event. We were anticipating more events over the winter. That's part of our reaction to this and doing those things. But of course, we start working on it. We've not had any weather. We start working on it. We get weather. Perfect. I have the knack for finding those opportunities. And if I would have known that, I imagine you all would have liked me working on it months ago, as well as my park staff team, because we've had to fire up irrigation systems to help offset the lack of precipitation in our area. So that is where we're at right now. All of our upstream efforts are going to remain. We've cleaned that up. We've removed. We're resetting all of those good things. Again, our goal is to slow and minimize that sedimentation that's coming from upstream. So we're going to be there. Now we're going to work to basically quit fighting Mother Nature as we have for the last 7 years and embrace her and just do it in a different way
And
making those things happen.
the plan moving forward then would just be accepting the fact that we're going to get sediment no matter what when we have these large-scale events.
And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that, and we weren't fooling ourselves. The downside to this is we won't, if anytime there is flow through the creek, it's just going to flow through that low water crossing. Yeah. And the excess going that way, for those that are walking and hiking and doing all those fun things, they may not be able to use that. So they're going to have to go to the floating walking bridge, or they're going to have to go the long route in using the trail. They just won't be able to cross at that particular location. So that's the downside, but I think in the long-term standpoint, long-term usability, the issues that we're handling now, we'll work to lose those. So, okay? But we're still meeting the context of what our Heritage Grant requirements are, because that period of activity is still open for us. So we're facilitating those things and staying in compliance. So we're all good. Not that there's any big issue. So.
I guess the only question I have is when it comes down to like the low water crossing, it's obviously a significant change to that overall topography of that area.
Right.
Is there going to be like proper signage for everyday users to realize
Yes.
that?
Very much. It's going to be designed for vehicles.
Okay.
And in some cases, we have to take large vehicles. So it'll be perfectly fine for that. Just when we have flow and maybe it's 6 inches or a foot deep or whatever Mother Nature throws at us, that those will be the moments
Passable.
where it will not be recommended at all to be used in that fashion.
Just as they do with every other county road and
Exactly.
all the,
Yep.
don't enter
Yep.
flooded type of deal.
Correct.
Any plans for any bollards and chains when we do have those heavy monsoon rains to close
As far as the-
lower water crossing off?
Correct, yes. We'll continue to work on that. Much like what we already have at the parking lot, that will really be at least the vehicular stop gates and the appropriate signage and other indications. So,
Okay.
Yep. Okay. So that was basically the quick down and dirty update in regards to that. I really thought we had this thing tackled. I mean, we had substantial product out there with concrete block, road barriers, everything else, and she's a strong girl.
Yeah.
She's gonna set us straight real quick.
You never argue with a woman.
Well, you finally learned that.
I learned that from you, too.
Very good. Any other questions about Fain Park? Okay. Moving on to the next item is field and facility preparations.
Yes, you'll be seeing. As a matter of fact, you hopefully have already seen our team out there turning infield dirt, warning tracks, all of those kinds of fun things, especially at Mountain Valley Park. We'll continue to move into our outlying neighborhood parks and doing the same thing. A lot of those changeovers will be occurring towards the latter end of this month and going all the way through the month of March. Our irrigation systems will start coming online. The dormant grasses will start to green up and going through all those processes. So there is a lot of work going on that will be gearing up very, very quickly for us. We're going to have a number of tournaments coming forward this summer. Some of the first ones will come in March with some very large-scale soccer tournaments, followed by multiple softball tournaments and baseball tournaments and all of those kinds of fun things. But our crews will be very, very active. We've got several hundred acres worth of turf to get fired up and started and ready to go and doing all of those things. So athletic fields will be fired up and moving.
Good. Yes, summer will be here before we know it.
Kind of almost felt like we've been in it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Well, we'll wait for Little League season to start before we get our first snow.
Yes, sir. Exactly.
Opening day, typically, yes, if my memory serves.
It serves you well.
Very good. Any questions on that for Brian? Okay. Moving on to new business. Ice skating season staff report from Mr. Brady Peck.
Story of a man named Brady.
Oh, I guess it is.
Right. This is your time, Brady.
Can you see?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'll start. This was a very successful season. The 2017-18 skating season ended about a month ago on January 14th, if memory serves me correctly. We had increase in just about every category this past year. Almost 1,000 more skate rentals and a lot more people coming through the doors. Part of that was because we had an increase of 34 skating hours this year. It was a shorter season, but we were able to program a lot more hours. Part of that was due to the fact that the Suns had most of their home games in the later half of the season, so we were able to schedule a lot of skating hours in December and January, which is very advantageous to the program. The staff did a tremendous job welcoming everyone through the doors and getting everyone out there with our skate rentals, skate sharpening, and just making sure that we had enough skates available to the public when we had 3 sessions a day over winter break, where we were seeing record numbers of people coming through the doors. So thank you to everyone that came out, and thank you to staff, and we look forward to seeing everyone again in the fall. And hopefully you're seeing the numbers and everything, and very good. Any
Yeah,
questions?
looks like a great season.
Yes, it was. We were very ecstatic to see the participation that we did. we started off slow with it being such a warm fall and really skipping winter until last couple of days. That we were worried that we wouldn't see the numbers peak up just because it was so nice outside and people taking advantage of the outdoor opportunities as opposed to going inside when it cools down and you get rain and snow outside. But people really did take advantage of the skating, and we were really excited about that.
Did you guys have special events during skating, like special themes or?
Yes, we did have a number of special themes. We had a 90s skate, 80s skate, rock and skate, where you come dressed in the theme, get free admission, played music from the era. So we had a number of people that get all in their costumed up. We might have had a couple Elvis sightings as well. So it gets fun out there, and we really enjoy those days because staff gets to dress up as well and really set the tone for the day.
I know with the limited number of hours it's hard, but is there any possibility of incorporating beginner classes at some point in the future?
All right.
So really our design and our program here is really based on open skating opportunities. In past seasons, we have partnered or provided an instructor in doing such. This year, we were going directly down that road as well. Due to some complications on her end, she had a partnering instructor as well. That availability was extremely limited for us. Going into the next year's worth of operation, I think there's going to be some more focus given to that so that we can, again, help enhance folks in learning those things. I know the Event Center itself is also looking at it in regards to also co-partnering with things in regards to looking at hockey instruction as well. Because I know over a number of years they've had youth hockey programs in doing that. And this year they worked in regards to help offering some open adult hockey play, too. So that was some good sharing there. A lot of that needed to come from the Event Center in operating it because of some of the sporadicness of schedule due to other events and services and activities, which was perfectly fine. For us, because it was still an offering out to the public to be able to jump on those. So those will be some of those factors that we really run into. I think what's exciting for us, Brady really hit on that. It was a shorter window, but more hours. And so when you really look at the growth that occurred, you know, we were pretty close to hitting some of our records in doing that. I mean, overall, in regards to skate rentals, we were just 100 or so away from those types of numbers. Our 13 and up attendance was about 700 higher than in the past 3 years. And again, not far off in our 12 and under groups. Skate sharpening, probably the average between the last 3 years. And our skate hours reflects that 34 hours worth of growth. And then in regards to total revenues, that's where we jumped. Now, the important thing to keep into mind with this is being that as we looked back here in regards to our skate rentals and then looking at the averaging between the numbers, we were just a little bit above. We were probably on the high end of the overall numbers in doing such. The important part to look at in revenues, remember when we went through the Prop 206 adjustments, that is literally the difference that you see between the years in doing that. If we factored out the Prop 206 changes to be able to help address our seasonal employees based upon what the voter referendum requested of us, it is right in line with the blue and the burgundy square that's in front of you. And you would find that we would be right there, maybe just a little bit ahead if we took that factor out. So it is, you know, from a 3-year window, it's above average in regards to doing those things. So don't be misled by the big jump.
Right.
That's how we're measuring it and looking at it. So to Brady, awesome job. One of the big kudos I want to give to Brady out of this operating year that we've never had before goes back. Remember when we were reviewing recreational registration software and cloud-based services and being able to handle our accounting better, as well as being able to be more customer savvy and supportive, handling credit cards and debit cards. Brady was able to go into our software and our services. He actually did this this year at our aquatics facility, translated that same knowledge base and provided that same opportunity for folks out at the skate program, which heightened our customer experiences, which is why I think he had the positive gains that he's had this year, because we were able to move people quicker, better, and faster, more efficiencies, so they could get out on the ice and have more fun doing those things. So big shout out to him. He had to make those things happen for us, as well as his staff being able to pick up that technology and run with it. So other than that, I have to give him a pat on the back. So good job, gang. Very good job. So,
You know, back when I was a young kid and we had skating in North Dakota, when it was kind of like what they also did with roller skating, they would have certain little events at times, and it made us all more, because instead of just skating circle and circle and circle, at times they would do a little 5-minute break and say adults only, kids under 10 only, and that gave them more ice space and a little more, because it gets kind of crowded sometimes. And then once in a while they'd throw just some cones on the ice and say little contest, limbo, things like that, and it made it a lot more fun for us when we were kids going. And we always went to the skating rink because we would win a free ticket in. At the day that was 50 cents, but but just it gave the people more, and especially when the adults were there with the kids, and we'd say, okay, adults only, they would all come out on the ice because they weren't having to worry about running into the kids or the kid. So maybe just some ideas maybe to make it a little more fun when people are out there.
Absolutely.
A little
something
5-minute event saying, okay, adults only, give them 5 minutes.
I'll file that away in the memory banks, but it's not like we were out on frozen lakes like you were up in North Dakota.
Well, we had indoor places. We're not living in teepee still up there. but it was, and like you said, we utilized lakes and water in a thing. But
Well, didn't you run the Zamboni?
well, I ran after it because it was usually dropping water on us. But it made it more fun when we were there as kids, instead of just a skate circle, because we only had certain times. But it made it more fun to go, and we all wait for that certain time when we had a game or something. And it was a little, like I say, a free admission to the next time you wanted to come skating. But every kid was lined up that was there.
All right, we'll look into that for next year.
For advertisement purposes, I know whenever my son brings something home from his school, it always gets looked over. Is that type of schedule, that January, December schedule, is that being passed out to the districts?
The schedule is subject to change, and it does change sometimes on a moment's notice, just because we do partner with the event center. We did have some last-minute scheduled changes towards the end of the season. They scheduled a couple concerts and got a couple other events in there, so that forced us to shorten the season just a little bit. So we do refrain from putting out the actual schedule, and we do keep it online, and we do keep it on our 24/7 phone line. We do keep those updated as quickly as possible. With the school flyers, we do try and put out a little, hey, we do have skating, it's available, check online for the schedule, just because we do have so many changes due to the flexible nature of the event center.
With you. The other question I have is, ice time is pretty expensive. And you mentioned about hockey partnerships. Is there an opportunity, or is there a knowledge base of going like an inline base application? So like this time of year, the event center is not being used for ice, but it can be used year-round in that type of application where you can just do an inline skating hockey league or something to that effect.
So with inline skating, that would require it's currently not set up with lines and stuff for hockey over there. It's just a cement slab on the very bottom. So that would be an investment on the event center's part, which they may have looked at it, they may not have, but I do know that they're happy to leave the basketball court out and not have to flip it 3-4 times a week, especially right now where the Suns are practicing. They have more of their games this time of year. But that is something that we can look into with the event center and see if that's a road they are interested in going down and then offering something like that in the future.
We've got the Suns. We might as well get the Coyotes up here involved in it too. It would get us
Get the
some,
Diamondbacks as well.
yep, get them all up here. Yeah,
Short drive.
Yeah.
Easy commute.
you bet.
Very good. Any other questions for Brady?
Great job this
Thank
year.
you for your
Brady.
time. Thank you for your hard work this year. It's always appreciated.
Thank you.
Very good. Well, that brings us to near the bottom of our agenda. Any other items that need to be brought up for the attention of staff? Or the commission? All right. Any unscheduled public appearances by our vast crowd here? I see none. So our next meeting is Tuesday, March 13th at 6:30 p.m. Commissioner Gummer will be on a cruise ship near Hawaii at that point, so he will not be here, if that's noted.
I'll call you.
We can FaceTime him.
Yeah,
Have his.
I'll look on your screen.
Yeah.
He'll be logged in.
Yeah. So yeah, please get with Kathy if you're not able to make next month's meeting, just in case quorum might be a problem. Kevin, you mentioned you might be out of town as well. So with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And we are adjourned. Thank you, Prescott Valley. We'll see you next month.